And we're back. I'm Margie Kay, and this is UNX News. We're speaking today with Mindy Tautfest. She's the author of the new book, Dying to Meet Them, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But first, Mindy, could you tell us about that disappearing crane incident in Oklahoma, please?
Oh, goodness. Yeah. This was back whenever I first became an investigator with MUFON, and I had a case where a gentleman had taken a picture of a somewhat close unidentified object. And whenever I investigated the case, this was maybe my third or fourth case. I mean, I was brand spanking new. And I ended up trying to set up a skywatch with him because he said that he had a ability to call in UFOs from the sky. Well, whenever I investigated his case, it was still pretty cold outside. I think it was December or January something. So that spring we decided to get together, and I took a couple of other investigators with me, and both of them were also experiencers. And we went up in northeastern Oklahoma and climbed up this hill and had a sky watch, and we stayed out there for a few hours, and there wasn't anything too amazing. We saw a couple of lights in the sky that we weren't able to just readily identify using our apps and stuff. And so we said, okay, well, it's been a nice night. We're going to go ahead and pack it in. It was getting late, and packed up all of our equipment. And as we were standing there talking, the gentleman and one of the investigators that is also an experiencer, they were speaking about the commonalities between seeing birds with UFOs, and could these be screen memories, or are they messengers, or what their purpose could be. And one of the gentlemen had said, "Oh, I see owls." Well, the experiencer that had reported his case to MUFON, he said that he saw cranes. And right as he was saying this, he goes, "Look," and we turn and look, and about 20 feet away from us, there's some electrical wires. And right between these wires flies this huge sandhill crane, and these things have like a 7-foot wingspan, and it flies over and gets maybe 10 feet over our head, and then it swoops up and takes off, gets probably 60, 70, 80 feet away, and then just vanishes. And we all just stood there and just waited. I guess your brain's trying to catch up, what just happened, because there's no trees, there's nothing where it could have ducked behind. I mean, this thing was incredibly close to us. We could see every detail of it, all the different individual feathers, the colors of the feathers. This thing was so close to us. And I mean, it was very large still in our view for it to just poof out of existence. And again, I talk about this in the book, because it was one of the more incredible things I've ever witnessed. I was not prepared to see something like that. I thought maybe I'd see a light in the sky.
You got more than you bargained for on that one.
I did. And I've never seen anything like that again. But I mean, it brings up so many questions. That something that looks like it's flesh and blood like that can just blink out of existence in front of all of us. I mean, and my brain still tries to comprehend, what did I see? How did that happen? And I have no explanation for it. But we stood there, we waited to see if it would come back, and of course it never did. So we went ahead and just, walked down the hill and went on. But I mean, I recorded everything I could about that sighting because it was incredible.
Yeah, and I understand that the witness has had several sightings since as well. And he doesn't mind if we use his name. He's gone public. His name is Joey George. He's Joey the UFO magnet is what he calls himself.
Yeah.
And he is. We've got a question from chat.